Hey, yo, it's me, Pops Van Marmalade, and you're watching the Comics-Related Madness Network. Huh? So come get some. CromCon. CromCon.
Madness Entertainment Group presents the Madness Comic Network with original programming and additional comic-related content.
Hey, we want to shout out to our sponsors, Daytona Beach Comic Con. If you are a fan of comic books, if you're a fan of comic book conventions, and if you like meeting comic book creators and getting comics and comic-related stuff, then you need to make your plans to attend Daytona Beach Comic Con. This year's show is September 9th and 10th. Silverline will be there, so you should make your plans to be there too. We'll see you there. If you like comics and find yourself in the Orlando, Florida area, doesn't everyone come to Orlando at some point in time to see the House of Mouse? But when you're here, you need to make it a point to visit Coliseum of Comics, especially the one on East Colonial Drive. They carry Silverline comics, even a limited edition Coliseum of Comics version of our comics. So, when you go, be sure to ask for Silverline Comics and tell them we sent you. OCD stands for Orlando Collector Deviants. OCD, Steve and Trish, they're a family of geeks who promote geek things, particularly those around the Orlando, Florida area. They're big supporters of Silverline, and we think you should be supporters of theirs too. Go give them some love. If you are an independent comic book maker and you need to get your independent comics made, you need to look no further than Kablam Digital Printing. They print our books, and they do a bang-up job. They're not only trusted by Silverline, but many, many independent comic book makers. Head on over to kablam.com and see for yourself just how easy it is to have your comic printed by them. And tell them Silverline sent you.
Hi, this is Tim TK, host of That Silverline Show on Tuesday. Join us at 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Pacific every Tuesday night as we discuss pop culture and the joys of making comics.
Hi, I'm Barb Kilber, co-host of Silverline's Wednesday Wham. Join us each Wednesday nights as we discuss comics, literature, movies, and anything else that may catch our attention.
I'm Roland Mann, and I host Silverline's Silver Sunday. Join me every Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern as we make mine Silverline.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to That Silverline Show on Tuesday. We are the people that do that show on Tuesday. I'm your host, Tim GK, and I'm joined by Jose Fuentes.
Hi.
Yes. I heard
my name, and it took me a second to. Oh wait, yeah, he's talking to me.
And I'm there too. My Baja Blast is ran off, so I'm my caffeine for the day is fading.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we are going to be talking about Clip Studio today and kind of doing like a beginner's guide, like an actual like hard skill craft segment on that Tuesday show, like we've been talking about Clip Studio. Jose is going to be our resident Clip Studio expert, so this will be his beginner's masterclass, if you will.
I apologize in advance.
Perfect. Let's see there. I had something pop up here, which we'll get to in a second. Let's say yes. But before we get into all that, we are going to be talking about what we've did this weekend. We've been enjoying media-wise, and Jose already kind of gave me some spoilers before the show. But I understand that you've had some drama on your weekly playing of Arc.
Yes. Arc. People, programmers, get your stuff together.
Perfect. Yeah.
Arc did not like me today, today.
Nice. Yeah. So you had made a deal with another player essentially to buy some trying to extricate yourself from the deal, everything blew up essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like it. I know that anybody that plays games like that, like games like Ark or even like you mentioned Destiny or any other like big involved like internet based games and whatnot. Like there's always going to be some kind of lag, some kind of like what I mean.
Yeah.
And it just happened. I just was lucky enough to when I went to transfer back to my server, I hit a lag spike right then and there, and so when it rubber banded, it took my stuff and didn't give it back.
Naturally. Yeah. I was streaming some Hell Let Loose over the weekend with some friends, and we got enough people in there to make our own squad and kind of lock it down to just us. But
nice.
Yeah, I think it was the German offensive at Hurtgen Forest, something like that. But I was a squad leader. I was setting up our spawn points, and we were progressing. And right as we got into an engagement, like really close quarters, just kind of walked around a corner, and there's another enemy squad coming the opposite way. And I'm about to start spraying. My thing clips. I rubber band, and then I'm on the ground like 50 yards back.
Oh, I hate that so much.
Yeah.
Man, I wish I never had that playing Halo back in the day. That was never like really a thing, right? There was definitely me rounding the corner and getting shot in the face. That happened a lot.
Yeah.
Like I make a point of telling people every time I used to play Halo, like, listen, I'm your handicap. I just want to let you know that. She's like, you guys have ever gone bowling? You ever been on a league? I'm the handicap.
Perfect. Yeah. Yeah. I haven't hopped on Halo too much, a little bit for the new event, but mostly I've just been playing Hell Let Loose and Destiny. But since I maxed out the Halo season pass,
right?
Yeah.
I played it for the new Halo for a minute, and I haven't had a chance to get it because when I play Halo, like, I want to be able to have time to I want to start like the afternoon and finish when the sun comes up or something. You know what I mean? Like I want to be able to have time because like Halo to me is like I don't know. I had Xbox when it first came out. So when Halo first came out, I was like, it was the best game in the world for me.
Yeah.
Like I loved it. I loved the whole story. I liked the idea. And then when it came to like the other Halo 2, Halo 3, and blah, 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 you know what I mean? I followed the progression of the story the whole way. And so I like to sit there and just immerse myself in it.
Yeah. And Halo's definitely one of those titles where it got big enough that whenever, like, no matter the age bracket they fall in, but if someone had played any games at all from like 2002 onward, when you get them into a room and see a bunch of other like dudes around an Xbox, they're gonna be like, oh, I know exactly what's happening, I'm in.
Right. Yeah, I almost missed Gen Con one year because we had a LAN party for Halo. My wife was like, are we going to the convention or not? It's like, oh, I forgot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Halo, good times.
It's so good. So other media wise, have you been reading or watching anything this last week?
I was reading. I started like booking. Like I've read a lot of like H.P. Lovecraft and different versions. People's like different like notes and whatnot on his books and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I started reading like one. There's a website you can go to, LibriVox, and they have a bunch of them on there. And I like listening to those. I used to listen to those when I worked in the freezer at the Walmart DC.
Oh yeah.
So I would like be in the cold, and I'd put those on. That kind of would just get me to forget about the cold while I was working.
Nice.
So I started going through those again, and then there's another one, Red Harvest, the Star Wars book.
Oh yeah,
I kind of just started. I'm not really that far into. I mean, I just started. Just started like 6 months ago or something like that. I'm only in like a few chapters in.
Yeah, you definitely have those books where like it takes you way longer to read through than you want to.
Right?
Yeah, I've had Red Harvest on my list for a while, but I haven't had a chance to get to it yet.
Yeah, so far it's pretty neat. Like, I can't really give you spoilers because I'm not that far along into it, but like it seems to me like it starts off like there's a school and the trainees can decide which direction they're going to go, like light or dark, and like, oh, this guy's leaning towards the dark side. He's probably going to go that way. I'm like, wait a minute, that was a thing. That's kind of cool.
Interesting. Okay,
So I just haven't had the chance to because it was on my other phone, and I got to re-download it onto my current phone, and then I'll just put it on and listen to that. But I think the last time I did it was last time I listened to it was, I want to say February, March. I think we were on our way to Pennsylvania to visit family and friends.
Nice.
But it's a great story. I just got to get back into it.
No, I still think we need to get Mackenzie on one of our episodes and do like a episode on like the cultural significance of Star Wars and modern storytelling or something.
Really?
There we go. Because
that'd be cool.
Yeah. Or as I'm like a encyclopedia of the old canon, she is all about the new canon. So
that's interesting.
Yeah. So she's also a Hugh Hayden Christensen stan. So
she is a fan?
Yeah. I mean, it'll be interesting to see how he plays in the Obi-Wan show.
Yeah, I have a friend who's a pretty good fan of his as well, and he was like I've read like articles about it, and like they're gonna do flashbacks. They're gonna have Anakin and Obi-Wan during the Clone Wars again. I was like, that's actually kind of dope,
right?
I wasn't sure if I actually liked him as Anakin, because I thought he was kind of weird, but I definitely liked him as like pre Darth Vader.
Yeah, I definitely thought he came into his own with Episode 3, but I think more so my issue with the prequels was the writing at that point. I feel like I liked the plotting and the actors involved. I thought the some of the writing didn't give them a whole lot to work with. I
have gone on record stating that Finn got a bad rap. Like he so much potential with that guy.
Right.
Man, I was so mad.
Right. I'm glad at least that really for a lot of people involved with the sequel trilogy too, that like that's been very hard for them to get work afterwards, even though like you imagine working with something like Star Wars, even if it wasn't a fan favorite, it should kind of blow up your career. But apparently for Daisy Ridley,
you would think.
Yeah. Apparently for Daisy Ridley, it's been really hard for the guy who played Finn. I can forget, John Boyega. It's also been harder for him. But Oscar Isaac.
Yeah, but he came out complaining about it too. Like he came out like openly saying like, I'm not sure if he's actually saying he got hosed, but like definitely complaining about like aspects of the movie. So
yeah, definitely. I definitely think that if he was given maybe a little bit more control over what he thought Finn should do, it might be a different story for him. He might actually get more development of Finn. But Oscar Isaac, however, sort of he's the one who got out and was able to him and who's Kylo Ren?
Adam Driver.
Adam Driver. They both of them managed to get through and find a bunch of roles afterwards. And I think
I didn't know Adam Driver was in the military. I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah, he was.
I'm gonna go in the military, and then now I want to be an actor.
Yeah,
I couldn't even complain.
Yeah, he was a Marine, and then he went into he does like a charity where he tries to connect the performing arts with military service members. So
that's cool.
Yeah, so I think that's very cool. Yeah,
this guy needs to stop doing stuff to make me respect him.
Yeah. Well, he was also in a movie with Iggy Pop and Bill Murray, so I think at that point he won me over.
Oh man, The Dead Keep Coming Back or something like that.
Yeah,
such a weird movie.
It's so weird, but yeah, I mean that's my jam. Is just weird off the wall stuff.
I actually watched it. Like I had to. It had Bill Murray.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. The more off the wall things get, the more I'm into it.
Right.
Yep. But what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, we got Oscar Isaac now going to be Moon Knight for fans of the comic, which so far with everything I'm seeing coming out of it, I'm so stoked. They spoiled the goldfish today, which
was there another trailer?
No, it was just a poster. The official Moon Knight page put out a poster that was just the goldfish in a blender.
Oh.
And so that's if they do get some.
I think we've had that talk before. They give too much away.
They do give too much away, but I think that if they I think that's just the right amount of giving stuff away. Like they're not explaining it. They don't have like audio clips of him talking to the fish. It's literally just like the deep cut. Like if no one knows what's going on, they're gonna see Goldfish and a Blender Thumb Moon Knight logo and wonder what they're looking at. But for fans of the comics, it's like, oh, they're going with some really fun cuts. Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah.
That I don't mind. But like, was it New Mutants? They basically gave the whole movie.
Yeah.
Like, there was no point in watching it.
Right.
I still did, but
I don't know. I watched it mostly to finally see Sam Guthrie and Magic on screen.
Yeah, I was a little weirded out. Not by that, but I wanted to see more Ron. You know what I mean? Sinclair.
Yeah.
Personally, like, but I mean, the chick the girl that they had playing her, the one from Game of Thrones, I thought she did a pretty good job.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Because isn't she Scottish anyway?
Can't remember
like her herself.
I can't remember if Maisie is Scottish or if she's just from the Midlands.
Gotcha.
But yeah, having her as I thought that was very, very as Wolfsbane was very well cast.
Right.
Yeah.
I thought so too.
Yeah. What was I gonna say? I lost it. As for myself,
that's how we roll on Tuesdays.
Exactly.
Just so, if anybody on here is new, that's how we roll on Tuesdays.
Yep. What have I been watching, reading, playing a lot of Hell Let Loose recently. The game's kind of taken over my life. We've been doing a lot of that on stream too. So if you want to see some fun shenanigans, it's twitch.tv/aggrobacon.
Do you have it on your Twitch?
Yeah, we have a Twitch.
Nice.
My last VOD is 2 hours of it. We're playing the German offensive in Hurtenvorst at the last map of the night, and me and I'll probably clip it and put it up somewhere. But our commander we were going full on like blitzkrieg, where we were pushing each point, and then a commander dropping spawns behind the enemy encampments as we took the one before that. So we were always just at the base before the defenders could relocate.
Nice.
But the last one, they're actually able to position time, but not spoiling the clip, but it's funnier when you actually see it. But the last point, the commander had put a spawn just like right off the flank of it. My squad and like 2 other squads drop in. We start running up the hill. I start the if you have kids or on TikTok, the sheesh, the sheesh. I do that. Everyone in the line starts doing that over proximity chat.
Oh my god!
right before we get lit up by artillery and machine guns.
That's fantastic.
So I'll clip that and have around soon. But it's a fun game. Anytime you can get proximity chat and then also put it on top of like a semi-serious military simulator, you're in for some fun times. Reading, I'm still reading through the case of the General's Thumb, which is fun and kind of it's interesting reading. Recently, I actually got into just with everything going on. I've been engrossing myself with some documentaries on the history of Eastern Europe, and also understanding the rise of the Ukrainian national movement that came out of the start of the Soviet Union. The idea of like pretty much as soon as the Soviets started, the Ukrainians were like, no, we should have our own unique identity because we were absorbed by all these other medieval kingdoms for so long. So. And in kind of seeing like the trademarks of what people credit to Ukrainian literature. So reading a story that I can see that, but it's in like a modern noir story. So it's kind of fun pinning those things together. Yeah.
Now, you say you're reading that. Is that particularly just for interest sake, or are you reading it for research?
I'm reading it more so for interest sake because I haven't read too many European detective novels in a while. So this was one that got recommended to me, and I thought it was an interesting time. Things gone to buy something and support like Ukrainian authors.
Right.
But So it's kind of a fun mix of the research is kind of like a back burner to it, but it's more so just enjoying the a dark comedy detective story that's in kind of getting some more context for European storytelling, because I haven't read a whole lot of. I have read a bit of stuff from like Western Europe, like
Right.
but I haven't read too many like pieces of fiction that come out of Eastern Europe. So it'd be kind of interesting to see also like, what does like Bulgarian or Hungarian storytelling look like, or anything like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A side note, I thought it was interesting today. I was driving with my son. My son's a musician,
Yeah.
16 years old, and his class, his jazz band, his advanced jazz band class, had a gig at
Nice.
a retirement community. I think.
Okay.
They played because they play a lot of old jazzy,
Yeah. Yeah. Naturally.
for the time period. And anyway, we were driving home, and he was like, "Dad, what's that flag up there for on this building?" And I looked, and I was like, "Are you for real?" He's like, "Yeah." I was like, "That's the Ukrainian flag." He's like, "Why is that there?" It's like, you understand that where we live, it's got a really big Ukrainian
Yeah.
population, and a lot of them, there's like this 4 or 5 building like apartment complex
Yeah.
that a lot of them live in. Like, I mean, they have homes everywhere else, but like that is strictly like everyone knows. Like, if you're gonna get an apartment there, you better be Ukrainian. You know what I mean? And like that's what they're doing. They're supporting their people. He's like, "Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't know that." I was like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
I thought that was interesting. Like, I mean, I knew that, but like, I knew that because I drove past it so many times. I saw the building. I looked at it. I even saw
Right.
the church. The church they have is amazing.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, like I just to have to explain that to my son. I was like, "Oh, I must just take that for granted that it's there."
Right.
But man, I need to be a little more observant to explain stuff to my kids.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we can't think for someone to come through like Woodburn, Oregon right now, because we Woodburn, Silverton area. We have pretty healthy Russian populations. But
Okay.
but it's interesting going through there is a lot of them are also flying the Ukrainian flag, because a lot of them, were there because they
That's
wanted to
interesting.
get away from, either the USSR or from the Putin regime, depending on when they immigrated.
Right.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I know my daughter told me that she's like, "Daddy, I have a girl in my class and she's Ukrainian." I'm like, "That's cool." She's like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, but her mom is Ukrainian and her dad is not." And she told me that they fight a lot. I was like, "Oh, okay." It's like, "Is that because of what's going on?" I was like, "I am not. I can't answer that.
Yeah.
I don't know their life."
It could also just be something like they don't agree on the
Right?
dishes. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I was like, "I can't answer that. I'm sorry, sweetheart."
Yeah. That's interesting. Comics wise, I've been reading The Elements, or was it? Now, wow, why I'm looking at it. Is it The Elements of Wisdom? There we go. They don't give me the subtitle here. The Rudiments of Wisdom. Which follows Pete Wisdom, who is a mutant in the Marvel Universe, who's part of
Hot Knives.
Yes, Hot Knives. Part of MI13, and this was actually a title put out by Marvel's Max imprint. Which,
Interesting.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know the history, Max was they still have it, but they don't use it a whole lot, except for like the occasional.
It's not the same.
Yeah, occasionally they'll put out like a random, what's it called? Like Punisher, like if the one gets some really like heavy violent Punisher they'll put out there, but it hasn't really done anything outside of Punisher for a while. But it's was their essentially their 18 up imprint.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They had a book called, I think it was called Apache Skies. It was pretty awesome. Like I love that one.
Yeah. I thought a lot of the works that went out through Max were actually like very well done. And I love Pete Wisdom, so I picked this up, and it's a fun time. It follows Pete Wisdom and MI13 as the parts of the British government are considering defunding them, while at the same time, parts of the Fairy Kingdom in Otherworld are launching insurgent attacks and preparing something big that they're trying to piece together. So
does this take place after? Was it House of X and Powers of X?
I want to say it does because
Like with was it Krakoa or whatever becomes their base, and like they're going through the tree portals.
Oh no, this takes place before that.
Okay.
It's after House of M, but way before this. This takes place in, but I want to say around the same time as like the Utopia storyline.
Okay.
Yeah, but this is like mid 2000s, this early mid 2000s. But yeah, it involves some fun fairy-based conspiracies, weird combinations of magic and counter-terrorism tactics, and Pete Wisdom finding himself in a unwelcome diplomatic marriage. So yeah, it's interesting. I'm enjoying it, but it's definitely like oh, I haven't like. I like it.
Pete Wisdom is actually a pretty good character.
Yeah.
My problem with him, I feel, is like as a whole, I don't know. I kind of feel like he can easily get switched out with Gambit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's the thing.
I know the logic is different. You know, Gambit's a little more, bohemian-esque, and
yeah.
But I feel that the two can get switched out.
Yeah, that's like my favorite parts of X-Men are when they take some of their characters who maybe aren't as developed or don't have as a unique identity and do focus on them in something like this, where I mean that's also like the cool thing about the Gambit solo run, where they get more into Gambit, gambling trickster with a heart of gold, and like his dealings with like the mob and trying to pay off his debts. And this one deals more with Pete Wisdom being like essentially like a company man for the British government, and so you get a more unique identity that you wouldn't normally get when they're on main roster, when they're on like big roster comics. And so
that's cool. See, and I like that. I like that idea because, like I said, I think Wisdom's just a really cool, just a neat character. Like it's like the logic of him launching freaking knives out of his hands. That's like he almost paralyzed Colossus.
Yeah. It's a ton of fun, and I do like kind of these like almost like character studies that they've done throughout, and having it on Max also where they can get a little more violent with it is interesting. Yeah, that's been what I've been enjoying this week. So
cool.
Go ahead.
Oh, you're really good.
I was about to launch into our next topic, so if you want, I continue this one for a little bit. Or I got a thing to add on. Okay, all right. All right. So the next item we'll be getting to is actually getting into tonight's subject, which is how does one clip studio? So I have something set up here, but first I'll ask you, Jose. Do you have a way of sharing your screen with Clip Studio, or does it not?
I don't.
Okay,
so
perfect.
Who is it? I think I have to get Tommy. I think it's Tommy is supposed to help me be able to connect my iPad to be able to share it with the screen.
Okay, so then we're going to do something even better and perhaps more atrocious here. Okay, we're going to go... one second, give me 1 second here.
Atrocious just means experimentation.
Oh, that for sure. I'm doing something real quick here. I did not realize that this was required beforehand. So let me just enter in all my emails and private information before I share my screen, and then we'll get to that afterwards.
That might be wise.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Okay.
Let's see.
Okay, here we go. Perfect. All right.
So about having I evidently am a collector of cups, and not even anything fancy.
Sure.
But it's where I put all my pins in. So I gotta find the right cup that has the right pin.
Kind of the same way with mason jars for painting.
Right?
But recently got I forgot it's called, one of the Japanese style brush cups with the wrap around it, like the weave around it. So that's been
Neat.
Yeah, it's been my jam for a little bit here. Okay, cool. So that's a thing. So then let me see if this works.
I noticed we had a sponsor thing on our intro while you're in the middle of that. What was that?
Yeah.
DCO? Oh, no, wait.
Oh, did you just cut out? All right, we're getting that resolved. I'm doing something real quick here. There you go.
All right, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yay.
Perfect. Okay, here we go. So we're gonna be doing this here. Now to get something set up, but first, go up here. Okay, so I don't have a pen or anything on me. It's straight mousing. But I figured I can be our example here.
Okay.
That was what I was doing. I was registering for our Heart of the Free trial.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, give me a second. Maybe I can help. I have Clip Studio on my computer, right? But I don't normally use it, so we're gonna maybe if I can finagle it and pull a page up, that'll give us something to work with.
Yeah, and I figure we're just gonna kind of go like through basics, just how setting up the page, what settings you like to enable or disable, and the basics of some of the tools.
Okay.
Yeah.
Man, I haven't done this on my computer in like a minute.
Well, I have done it never. So the closest I've got to using any sort of like visual processor on my computer is using either GIMP or Illustrator to letter.
I remember GIMP.
Yeah. Outside of like my gaming stuff, I'm a bit of a Linux boy, so GIMP is our go-to for anything Photoshop-esque.
I can't fault you for that.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there a way we're all learning as we go together, team?
Yes.
if I share my screen, right, does it have to be my computer screen or can it be my monitor?
You should be able to share your monitor, your window, or any application.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see what I can do. Okay, there's screen 1, screen 2, window, Clip Studio.
That's interesting. Okay, so I'll get started here first.
Okay.
So for the first person, so when someone's first time opening Clip Studio, the probably first thing it's going to do is go to File, New. So I'd see here that like every other processor, they have presets for like Photoshop or GIMP will have like, web dimensions. Like, is this for mobile or web screen or like whatever. I see here Clip Studio because it is, designed originally as manga creation and then it got westernized. I see they have presets here for webtoons, comics, even fan scenes, which, if you were shredding around escape parks in the late 90s, well, even like late 80s throughout the 90s, someone probably handed you their zine at some point.
That's true.
Yeah, dude. I scene culture is like my favorite thing. Like that was so good. It's just like, hey, I saw you just like busted your knee on this pipe, but can you just like take my zine where I review like the latest like Black Flag album? It's like great, yeah, cool. Give me some ice, please. But so do you use any of the presets or I imagine, well, inking, you probably just like import the raw.
Yeah, so when I ink, that's what I do. I import usually a TIFF file, preferably, just because of the amount of information that's on it. But yeah, I'll just open that on whatever the regular page is. I have used the comic page to like kind of lay things out.
Sure.
But I'm not that savvy with it.
Okay.
And I know my daughter actually has used the animating, the animation part where you can like, because I have you can have two different versions of Clip. Basically, one is for like art stuff, and the other one you can actually add on the animation.
Interesting.
else.
Okay.
And so I didn't do it because I wanted to have it. I did it because I wanted to have the whole thing in case there was anything I was missing, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And and then my
Tommy,
daughter,
if you're
then,
free to
hi,
hop
Tommy.
on in.
Then my daughter on my iPad started using the animation part. And I had a friend, his name is Ben Boston. I told her, I was like, hey, I can contact him to if you wanted to give you any pointers on it, because he uses it a lot to make animatics. And she's like, oh no, I'll figure it out. And she did. In like the matter of like 2 weeks, she figured out how to use Clip Studio and the animatics to create like her animation stuff.
Dang. Okay. So it sounds like for animation, then it's pretty intuitive.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. But so do you mess around at all with doing a custom canvas, or just kind of leave that for if an artist feels like setting that up before you ink something, they can mess with that, but otherwise you're gonna just import or use
the only thing I change is I want to make sure the sizes are correct. Like if as an inker, when I bring it into a new file, the first thing I do is go check the image size, because sometimes the pages come in a little off.
Okay.
And I set it up so that it's 11 by 17, and usually if unless I don't remember, because sometimes like I'm in the middle of just trying to like quickly get the page set up, I'll forget. But usually I work at 600 DPI, so that when I drop it back to 300 and turn it back into a TIFF file with my inks, the lines are more crisp.
Sure. Okay. Let me go ahead and actually pop. You haven't used. Oh, there you go. This actually works very well for what we're trying to do tonight. So we have a better place to move our logo. Okay, you have a lower right. Hey, there you go. Perfect. So we'll be in the lower third, and we'll have our demonstration up top here. Okay. There. Multiple pages. Okay, so when you're working through, you have the option to do multiple pages. I'm guessing that's if
Yeah.
Do you ever actually do multiple pages in a project, or
No. Funny enough, if I have to put a piece together myself and create a multiple page thing, I'll actually do it in Photoshop
yeah,
just because I know it better.
yeah,
Like, I mean, I'm pretty savvy with Clip, but like, there's a lot of stuff that I don't know about it that doesn't like come into the work that I do,
sure,
with it.
yeah. And I don't know if the clip might have the same thing. I imagine it might, because there's more data involved in a visual file. But
So the
if
reason I think the reason you can set and change, like, say, the number of pages when you set it up here is because it's gonna allow you to like open it up and be like, page 1, and open it up like page 2 and 3. You know what I mean? 4 and 5.
Yeah, sure. But yeah, I was gonna say, if I'm writing, which is odd, but like scripting, it doesn't kind of much use. But also, I hate working on big multi-page setups for writing, which, if in the age of technology, is kind of weird. But more so, what I mean is, like when I'm working like scripting something, like scripting 22 comic pages, I'm probably still writing like 33 like Microsoft Word or LibreOffice things. But working in novels, you're going to start like chunking away at like a couple hundred pages. And what I found is that Microsoft Office and LibreOffice both have terrible memory leak issues, where they will just like, once you get to a point, just trying to process or switch between like your sections thing, it's going to start chugging. Unless you are running a higher end PC, which thankfully I am, but like unlike your average work laptop, I was like, but so I like breaking it down into chapter segments, which I imagine would be kind of the equivalent of 1 page at a time, as opposed to like working on 12 pages at a time.
Right. Man.
Let's see there. They have stuff for your metadata, which I imagine. Does anyone ever use this, or?
Like I said, I use an entirely different aspect of it when I do inking.
Yeah, perfect. All right.
Sorry, guys. sorry, watchers, viewers.
I'm maybe Tommy, if he's still in the chat, he can answer if he wants to pop in. But the I know for most projects, I don't even bother with metadata for like any reason, because like that's for the editor to slap onto like the finished product.
Right.
Yeah.
But if you're doing it yourself, like if you're using Clip to create your own comic,
sure.
You know what I mean, and you have the pages set up. You're gonna probably want it to like I said, that's story information. You're gonna want story name, your subtitle, who did it. That's just
getting that metadata embedded too. Now with the way with the reworkings of DeviantArt's IP protection would probably come in handy, because now that is hard encoded on how they file everything. Right. So if you see something that same metadata pop up, but it's not your specific like blockchain identifier, that someone ripped your artwork off.
That's kind of cool too. You can set it on a certain page.
Yeah,
that's interesting. I wonder if you can use it as an overlay. Like, so how Marvel and DC used to do, where they do like the art, and then they would overlay the letters like onto it according to like say on a pillar. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Stuff like that. I wonder if that's possible. I haven't tried it. I should play around with it more.
Sure. Okay. Well, so we got this here. We're gonna. Press browse and choose a save folder to manage multiple pages. Interesting. What? Press.
Save to F.
Oh, there you go. Just turn off multiple pages. There you go. All right.
Look at that. Bleed.
Perfect.
There's a bleed. There's a trim line. There's your live area.
Yes. All right. So, okay, well, we'll get into the basics. Someone just got Clip Studio. They just figured out how to get past creating a new project. I'm now live casting my first time experience using Clip Studio. All right, so
I'm proud of you, Tim.
Perfect. Okay, so also, if you're trying to get into comics art, don't use a mouse and keyboard as your primary drawing tool. I'm just gonna play that out there. Even as someone who does not draw, I'm gonna put that out there and say maybe.
I will say I proved in class one time, because I had left my Wacom tablet at home. Okay. I proved that I can color just as well with a mouse or my trackpad as some of my fellow classmates.
With the trackpad.
Yeah.
All right.
Because I was already familiar with what we were
Yeah,
doing. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So like I was like, oh yeah, let me show you what I can do.
Okay. Maybe at some point we'll transition to pulling like an inked page that's not color. Oh, actually, I do have inked Wolf Hunter pages that aren't colored yet, so maybe we can look into like a live coloring demo or something when we get through. So someone gets here, they're going to start. They're just trying to doodle around and get used to the software. What tools do you recommend them checking out, or settings you recommend looking at this point?
Say that. Okay, say that one more time.
Okay, so someone just got here. They're just looking at kind of messing on another project and trying to get more familiar with it.
Okay.
With the software. What kind of tools do you recommend looking at? What settings do you recommend looking at?
So the first thing personally I would do would be like in regards to inks, right? I have to preface with the fact that it's in regard to inks. So my inks will already have had the pencils on the page, right? First thing I go into is I'm trying to click on your freaking.
Oh my god, that happened sometime. I forgot I was watching a stream. I forgot I was watching Day 9 play Command and Conquer. I paused it, I came back down, and then I looked at the screen, and like I tried to unpause the game. Like, wait, I wasn't playing. I was watching.
Man, I wish I could pull this up. Maybe if I move Clip Studio. Because I have it open on one screen.
Sure.
But I have to reset my Google to be able to switch it over. So that's not going to work. Anyway, so if there's artwork there, right? Actually, pull up something. Pull up something like pencils. If you have any like pencils at all.
I don't know if I have any pencils. Let me drop my screen real quick here. I'll see what I can find. I have an idea.
I'll close my eyes.
Okay.
I don't know what you got going on there.
Oh, this could be atrocious. I'm gonna do Pete so dirty. We're gonna do Pete so dirty on today's stream. I think I still have his pencils of his cover for Wolf Hunter.
Oh, sweet.
I'm going to send this to him after the stream. Like, look what I did.
Look what he did. It was awesome.
All right. And send me these on here. Do you send me over Instagram? Okay, send me over Instagram. Let me get over there.
There.
Here, there, everywhere.
Right.
Which also, if you're working in indie comics, another bit of I guess business promo there is get ready to like manage 15 different DM platforms.
Oh, geez.
I can't
fathom that, dude. That's crazy. Actually, I can disconnect.
Oh yeah, here we go. We got the pencils.
All right.
We got the pencils. All right. Open image in new tab. Save image as.
There we go.
Those have some detail. All right. Okay. We're going to open downloads. Clinton pencils. Perfect. All right.
Nice. Oh, Pete.
All right.
All right. So the first thing from here, right? The first thing I would do is go into, I think it's edit.
Okay.
And just go to change image resolution, just because I want to make sure it's the right size. It's the right. See, like that would be image would be 72 DPI, which isn't a lot.
Right.
Ideally you want to work on at least bare minimum 300 DPI, only because your lines are going to be cleaner. You know what I mean? There's a lot more dots per, was it DPI dots per inch?
Dots per inch. It's
DPI.
Yeah, I think it's dots per inch. Yeah, because it's the same thing. Like my knowledge of DPI comes from competitive Halo and first-person shooters, which it's the amount of pixels you can cover with a flick of your wrist over an inch.
Right.
So yeah. So dots per inch.
And then and I usually change the unit to inches just so that I can see the size, because I can't friggin' make out. Now I would change that personally to 11 by 17.
Okay.
Should be able to change one, it'll change the other.
Perfect. Yeah. It scales. Cool.
Yep. Hit OK.
All right. Whoop.
Oh my gosh, it's so big.
Right. Is it control mouse wheel? Yes, it is.
I don't have a mouse. I don't know.
Oh, okay, it's just mouse wheel. Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So from there, I think you can go to, was it? Let me cancel it. I'm using my iPad for reference.
Sure.
Okay, it's layer properties.
Layer.
So go to window.
Oh, window.
Yep. Go down to layer property.
Layer property. Okay.
Okay, it says you already have it open, which I don't. Okay.
Okay. Do you want it open or do you want it off?
Oh, I open it. Yeah, keep it open.
Okay. Sure. Okay. All right. So, so you see we have it over here. Okay.
Yep. So you click on color, and it should allow you to change the color. Go to monochrome.
Okay.
And I think it's gonna make me remember. It's gonna make me think.
We're taking Jose back to school at the same
I know,
time.
man. All right, monochrome. Because I already have mine preset.
Oh yeah. That's also the thing is once you get into like
Yeah.
working with like your favorite tools, you get some really like for a new person, they probably look really funky, but you do get some really interesting presets for stuff.
Control Z for that.
Control Z.
Yeah. All right. Click on the 2 layer, the gray layer. No, not on color. Up just above it, all the way to the right. That one right there.
Okay.
Click on that. There you go.
Okay.
So the first thing I do is I click on that. Like I said, it's normally like it's just a quick button for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Quickly do it. And so I had like making me have to think through this.
Well, that's was it the role of mastery is like the more you can teach something, the better you retain it yourself.
Right. So this is what we call blue line, right? From this point, you can do one of two things. Like you can print it off at this point if you have a large format printer onto Bristol and ink it by hand. The blue is considered a non-photo blue, so that if you print it out, you ink it with black. Anything that's blue should not reproduce when they go to print the page.
Yeah, so just take it into your local Kinko's.
Right.
Yeah.
But don't let them make you scan it on your own.
Mm.
So I've taken my stuff into Staples, and Staples scanners aren't bad. They're fine, but they only go up to, I think it's like 150 or 200 DPI. They tell you it's 300, but it's not.
Yeah.
Like I make them take it to the back and scan it for me, and they're like, "Oh, the ones out here." Like, listen, dude, like I've been through this already. Like, just take it back there, 600 DPI.
It's the Ron Swanson that I know more than
you. I know what I'm about, son. But if you do it digitally, from this point, then you can start using the brush tool, which is to the left, just above the pencil. Not brush tool, I'm sorry, pen tool.
Pen tool, okay.
Yeah, brush tool is cool. It's got some cool stuff you can add after you've gotten your line art done.
Sure.
Right, and then you pick your size. I usually keep it about 10 or so, but somewhere between 7 and 10 personally.
Okay.
Right.
Sure. Okay, so we're already at 10.
Yep. This is going to be fun.
Oh, yeah.
With your mouse, and mind you, using a pen tablet or, either using a Wacom or a Apple or a Surface, their tips are sensitive. Mm-hmm. So if anybody who doesn't know this already, you can vary your line weight by how thin and thick you make your lines across the papers. Like if you look on this dude's shoulder, you know what I mean, the towards the top,
right?
You know what I mean, you can
it's kind of faded and trailing it there.
Yes, see, that is a created line weight, which the line weight helps to create a little more depth and like organicness to it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, everything would be the same line. It looked like an old coloring book or Justice League cartoon from the 80s.
Oh yeah, perfect. Yeah.
And then come on, Tim. Let's see you ink this bad boy.
Oh boy, all right.
And we're definitely taking screenshots of this, by the way.
Oh yeah, okay. Oh, I'm on blue ink.
Oh yeah, you're still on blue. So
okay.
Sorry, this is my bad. Go to your layer.
All right.
Create a new vector layer.
Okay.
Some people do it in so that click out of that.
Okay.
Okay, where your layer is right now, just above it are a bunch of little tools, right? The one to the left with the plus, that is a rasterized
Okay.
layer, right? That's what you use for coloring when you want to like blend colors and stuff like that on there.
Sure.
The next one over is a vector layer. That one,
Okay.
when you create lines on it, you can create lines and you take your select tool and you select it. It'll show you the vectored lines across the path.
Okay.
That line, if you use that, and you now try and make a line anywhere just to make sure it does. Yep, there you go.
Okay.
So you would do it on a separate layer, lock out your blue line because you don't want to accidentally switch. I've done that.
Yeah.
So click on your Clinton pencils.
There you go. And do you want to?
Nope, you can't do it like Photoshop.
Yeah.
Click on there, and then there's a lock just above the vector line button. There you go.
Okay. Perfect.
Yep.
Okay.
Let's see. In regards to like the tool properties on the right, on the left,
Sure.
I usually take my stabilization. If I want a line to be nice and clean and solid, or not solid, but like, anybody's hand is going to have a little jumpiness to it, right?
Yeah.
That helps to take that out, right?
Okay.
I usually take the stabilization all the way up, especially when I do my starting lines.
Okay. Sure.
Now you can have fun.
Perfect.
Now your line should be a little cleaner, even though they're with usually with
Oh, yeah.
It'll seem so jumpy.
Perfect. This is like, yeah.
Outstanding.
It's so scuffed, but yeah, we're getting there.
This is more fun than the Oscars.
Get my spy's name out of your mouth. We have fun here.
That's right.
Oh yeah. All right. So that's our starting line there.
That's your starting line.
That squiggly little.
Right. So
Nice.
let's see if I can.
Okay.
So I don't know if this will work. Because I'll use a different picture because I don't have that one.
Okay.
Let me see. It might not still let me do it. Sharing. Okay, I got that. Okay. 1, 2. Window. No. Chrome tab. I think I'll have to do it like this. Now you're gonna have to tell me if it switched over to my clip.
Okay. I'm not seeing it yet.
It's the entire screen. Oh, it's still going through preferences. Weird. Never mind. It won't let me do it.
Okay.
The universe hates me, Tim.
Or at least StreamYards.
Right? Or yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean that's good. They're making sure you're not, you know what I mean, just keeping you on your checks and balances and stuff like that.
Sure.
So, because you used a mouse, your line is the full 10 pixels
Right.
or whatever it is, right? From that point, I would go down. Personally, I would take it down, but like I said, I get pressure sensitivity on my pins.
Right.
Because then, if you want the smaller it is, the smaller line you have. Personally, like especially if you're using the mouse,
Oh yeah.
which obviously is a whole different bird.
Yeah. Yeah, as you said, probably not recommended if you're just starting out with a.
I actually knew a guy who inked with a mouse. Like
Dang.
his first works he did was inking with a mouse.
Wow.
And once he got a Wacom tablet, he's like, "Oh, this is so much different." I was like, "Yeah, dude."
Yeah. It's
Like your work's gonna come out a lot cleaner, a lot better. This is so good.
this is something. Certainly something. All right.
You have to
Have a whole new career change now, Tim.
Perfect. Yeah, I kind of got a little of this stippling there.
That's right.
Wow, that was not on. That was not on target.
That's not on target. So let's see. I have to remember how I did this too. There are ways I wouldn't recommend it just because like there's inconsistencies.
Sure.
But if you so go to on your toolbar, okay?
Okay. Wait 1 second here. I'm getting a bunch. I have like 50 windows open right now.
Holy cow. I don't know how you function like that.
All right. It goes down. Goes down. Well, the problem is like they're all actively used to even in managing various things I've gone right now. All right. So we're changing something. Okay.
Just changing the tool.
Okay.
You're going to go to the line tool, which is just under the gradient on the bottom section. There you go.
Sure.
Now you're going to click on the curve.
Okay.
Okay. You keep everything pretty much the same.
Sure.
And then go to the crease of where his spine is. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
And click there, and then you can you don't have to click and hold. I believe you can just click and then move it down to the bottom and then click again.
Okay.
And then hold the second click and then slide down with your mouse. Okay.
Well, all right.
Yeah, try grabbing a hold of the line. And why is it not curving? It's supposed to curve. There you go.
Okay, I see. Okay, so let's double and
yeah, get like
double undo that. Okay, yeah. So we're gonna go to it ends about there.
Yep.
Oh, what's that?
That is wonky. Go the other way.
Blend it out. Try something else. Why? Wait.
Are you clicking and holding the click?
Yeah.
Weird. Man, now you're gonna make me use my trackpad.
Okay, so that works. Okay, so actually it wants me to hold this part and then release.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, okay, and then you can just kind of adjust it from there. Okay.
Right.
That's so much cleaner.
The problem with that is using the mouse. You would have to do that and then click on the same starting point and move the line over and then say raise it just above and then put the curve on it in order to create that line weight for the back.
Right.
I mean, but for just getting curves down, it's not too bad. We had to kind of use the same principle when in Illustrator and doing typography.
Okay. Yeah. For our audio listeners, I'm sure this is the weirdest episode.
Right. Just so you guys know, audio listeners, Tim is inking in a cover done by Peter Clinton using a mouse with Clip Studio.
Right. So for that, I probably want a thicker line weight. And is there a way to change it after you put it down, or do you need to?
No. Well, I don't know, honestly.
Okay.
Let's find out. Learning progress.
Perfect.
Okay.
It's a little too thick. Somewhere between there, maybe. There we go. That feels about right.
I don't think so. But what I said, if you want to give it the illusion of thickness, you would just, like I said, click on the starting point again, and you know what I mean? Click on the starting point, click on your ending point, and then drag it out away. Like that, exactly like that, yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah. The illusion of thickness is my DJ name.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's not too bad.
Yeah, this is coming out. I mean, that is the thing, is if you are forced to work with a mouse and keyboard, you can use the tools provided to try and cheat your way into getting something that works
That's
together.
right.
So you can use computer assisted lines there. There we go.
Tim, you're doing so
All right.
well. I might be
So,
out of a job.
if we get to the point where we're hiring me to ink a comic with mouse and keyboard, I think we're in trouble. So obviously we've created a gap there. So do we care about that, or do we try to fill that, or just
Yeah,
kind of
you
let that
fill
ride?
it in.
Okay.
You can take the pen tool, take your pen down to like a 4 or 5 probably,
Okay.
and then just slowly fill it in, like zoom in and fill it in. Preferably not with white.
Perfect. Just white it all out. Interesting. Chose to go
So
white
double click on that. There you go.
There we go. Yeah.
Take it all the way down. Like with Clip Studio, you can set your colors to be different color swatches, I guess. Like there's no word for
Okay.
it. Your color palette.
Yes.
You can change it to color palettes. My color palette, oddly enough, is set to Copic markers.
Huh.
So that all my colors, because I use my Copic so often, like those are the colors I go by when I like compare things, right?
Yeah.
So I set it up to be Copic markers so that I can see what I got, and it's exactly what I'm looking for. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think we've gone a little too deep on the filling in with that.
So you can actually fix that without even like doing it, just by going to the curve line again.
Okay.
Right.
Sure.
Zoom in a little bit. Now on the right, so you see where you filled in a little bit.
Yeah.
The spot to the right, the corner to the right of the topmost of where you just filled in. Click on that and then take it up just a little bit, like where your screen is right now. Take it just a little higher.
Okay.
And then you want to cross into the line that you already have there, right? Like that. Yeah. That's
Okay.
nice. And then curve it to the left, just a little bit. There you go. Now you just need to fill it in, and you've created a shadow where the was it the hinge point for the fabric.
Sure. Even though I'm using a mouse and keyboard, I find myself doing the same thing I need to do with like if you're just doing it with a pencil, you just kind of do like the little like scratchy lines, just doing like tiny little small strokes.
Yeah. Like I do that with my tablet. I don't know what you're talking about.
It's more so I do that with painting. You do that with painting. It makes more sense because you're each time you're doing less paint at the end, right. But each time, so you're just kind of like easing it through.
So there are brush tools on here, right?
Yeah.
That simulate watercolor.
Okay.
You can simulate watercolor. You can simulate acrylics. You can simulate let's see, watery brush maybe. That's a good one. And then just pick a color.
Right. Let's see. Fabric would probably be. Sure.
No, just brush across anywhere.
All right.
Does it not do anything?
Not sure.
Oh. You might have to open a separate layer. It might only allow for vector lines. So don't do a vector line. Do a rasterized.
Okay.
There you go. Now try it. Awkward. Making me look like a fool. Now I gotta look at it.
Right.
Not gonna make me look like a fool. I kind of sort of know what I'm doing.
Oh, is it perhaps
watery brush? And let's do. That is weird.
Oh, maybe it's just the brush. It didn't like that one, but it likes round watercolor.
Interesting.
Yeah. Imagine wash. Yeah. Just want to equivalent of pot dipping your subject, where you just.
Okay, let's see.
All right.
There
Okay.
we go. So like, I don't know if it'll do because, like I said, because of the trackpad, or your mouse, but so that layers the way you would layer with watercolor, right?
Right. Yeah.
Then there should be a watercolor blender somewhere in there amongst all your brushes.
Got our flats.
Textured blender.
Where's that?
Maybe it's one I have that you don't.
Could be.
Watercolor brush. It might be. Okay, so funny enough, I've downloaded so many brushes. I'm not quite sure what all I have.
What's default and what's your own? Yeah. That's another thing when we get into the last half is where you go to find extra tools or add-ins.
So that one, it's pretty easy actually. With Clip Studio, you have to even if you have the free one, I believe you can do it with the free one, but when you buy it, you have to log in, right? You have to create a login for it, and the login that you have, there's a little squiggly icon up there where your pages are. You know, if you look at your page tabs, right where it says comic, go down just a little right there.
Yep.
To the right there.
Okay.
Click on that. That takes you to the different options of what you can do.
Okay, I have that open on a different one, I believe. Let me see if it'll just open up that tab if it's in here. Okay, yeah, this goes back to that tab. So let me change what I'm sharing real quick here.
Yeah, no worries.
There you go. Just gonna share modern one. There you go. All right, so we have our 30-day studio.
Right. So what I usually click on is license option, Clip Studio assets, find brushes and more. That's going to open up a web browser. At least it does for me.
I think it's thinking about it.
Right.
Okay, there you go.
So in the search, you just type in, let's say cross hatching. It's going to give you all kinds of different brushes that you can download.
Okay.
For cross hatching. The free ones, as long as you have Clip Studio and as long as you have a login, you can download the free ones all day long.
Perfect.
The other ones are, I think,
and actually good crosshatch.
They actually cost money, but it's not like real money. It's Clip Studio money. It's like cashing in Xbox points.
Huh.
You know what I mean? You use money to buy Xbox points or whatever, and then you use the points to pay for whatever you have.
Interesting.
Same principle.
Yeah. Interesting. Just using some sort of payment processor so it protects their information probably.
Yep.
All right.
So I've never actually bought any of the ones that cost points. I usually just get the free. There's so many of the free ones. You can even type in let's say
we're gonna go for an actually good. We're gonna sure download. This material's been downloaded. So
nice.
Cool. All right.
Okay. Now you should go back to, let's see. Yeah, go there. And maybe look, there's
I imagine they're probably actually in the documentation explain where to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To be honest though, who really reads the manual?
Yeah. Well, that's the manual. The favorite phrase of everyone who does anything in IT is RTFD. Read the documentation.
Right. So there's there should be on the right side of your tools material, or a thing called material. Let's see. Where's that? It's a one of those folders that you have. So you see where your navigator window is?
Sure.
Just to the left of that are like 3 icons that have folder material.
Oh,
That's the
material.
one.
There you
Go down to
Hang on.
download.
go. Yeah, there you go.
All right. Now, that's just so you know where it's at, right?
Right.
So what you do is you come over here to your pin tool, click on your pin tool, and then okay, scroll to the bottom. There, add subtool.
Okay.
Click on that.
There.
Add palette.
It's processing.
Yep. There you
There we
go.
go. So we got that. Let's get off of creating our puce killard shoulder there. Let's go ahead and sure. Good old 0, 0. Ooh.
And then using under tool properties, you can change like the opacity. You can change how much what you can change. Also, you can change what you have in pin tools, like what are your options you have in pin tools by clicking on the little wrench. So this with everything with the little eye on it is what's displayed under your tool property section, right?
Okay.
So then you can go to ink, like click on ink. Has your opacity, has your blending mode, has your color mixing. You can click on was it color jitter? Like go down to the list and just click on anything.
Sure.
Really.
Anti-aliasing.
Brush shape. That's go to brush tip. Okay, click on the blank square in front of the arrow on thickness.
Okay.
Now you see how thickness appeared over on your
Yeah,
tool property?
Okay.
And then now you can hit X top right, and it'll be there, so you can change thickness of it, and that changes.
Like, you can see it in the sample window up there.
Exactly.
Interesting. All right.
So those are the things I use when I use my pen tool. Like I will sometimes change the opacity. You can change like the angle of it. So in Photoshop, you would open up brush properties and you can change the angle, like the depth and width of the brush, right? That's basically the same principle, only I feel it doesn't show you what it's doing until you actually try and like use it, which to me is kind of a flaw.
Right.
I like to see the angle and the ovular shape I picked out before I try and use it, because then it's just, if I messed up, I just gotta back up and do it again. But like that's still seconds of my time. So that one has. So this one is basically it does the cross hatching for you, right?
Right.
There's another. I mean, obviously, there's tons of different brushes. Like you can literally spend an entire afternoon just going through the brushes. That's how many there are. Like probably even more than that.
Sure.
But like I had to set a timer for myself. Truly, I want to look for a new brush to use on this. Like I know what I want. I can't quite like emulate it with the brushes I have. I want to try it on something. Try and find one that works better. Set a timer. I'm giving myself 30 minutes. Otherwise, you will fall down that rabbit hole looking at everything. But I think there's a hatching one. I think maybe it's hatching is what I have.
Okay.
But like, let's see if I can show you from here. Like
here, not me. There you go.
This way, right?
Yeah.
And as I break everything.
Yeah.
That's like a list of the brushes that I have. Right?
It's quite a few.
Yeah. But I use them for different things. Like I wanted to create almost like a semblance of like a watercolor with grays, like doing almost like a I think I believe I told you before, I like doing inking traditionally.
Sure.
And I like using ink wash. You know what I mean? I like And I was trying to find brushes to try to give me that same like consistency digitally. So that's why I got a ton of different brushes. But one of the ones I have is like I have a rain brush. So you want to draw those Batman ones digitally, I click on my rain brush and I just run across my screen and it'll show, and I can change the direction of it so it looks like it's raining.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
I have grass because I didn't want to do grass one time. I was so bored. Oh, actually, funny enough, I used it on was it Kalis
Oh, nice.
when I did the Christmas special. There was a scene where there was grass on part of the page, and so I used that to just hurry up and like rush it on, and
Sure.
then obviously I don't just leave it like that. I go in there and tweak it up a little bit so
Yeah.
that you know what I mean. It's not just the pattern.
So out of my own curiosity here, more so just to see how truly lazy you can get with things. I'm just going to see if they, with looking at the facial hair on Tizzard there,
Okay.
if they have, you know. Just a bunch of face posing things, it looks like.
I just tried to scroll through your list.
Yeah. Good do.
Yeah, if you notice, like some of the things, there's 3D modeling
There you go.
that can be done on Clip Studio for people
Yeah.
that like they can take a figure, fiddle it, and manipulate it into the shape that they want, and then create a second layer and then outline it. Like that's. I mean, I've not
Perfect.
actually used anybody use it. I don't think, but it's possible.
Yeah. So we got a tool here that seems to be designed for
Body hair.
body and facial hair. There you go. Yeah, so they tell you that they'll not do the hair job for you. So even if you're lazy, you can't be too lazy with it.
Right.
Yeah, perfect. So
The
really,
brush. Okay.
yeah,
So that one you would have to open up your brush tool, and then go down. Yeah.
perfect. All right.
Yeah, you have to be mindful of what tool it is, because I downloaded one that was I thought it was a really cool tool, and it turned out it was an eraser.
Oh,
I was like, oh, that is not what I want. That guy does not have a clean mustache.
yeah, even then, it looks like it's not adjusting the actual brush size too much when I'm clicking through there. Mind you, we were actually just changing the density.
Or you can do like you did with the back folds, the hinge point,
Oh yeah,
where you did the curve tool. You can use that. It would be a lot cleaner, but you'd have to like line things up a little more.
sure.
You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah,
I mean, thankfully, Pete's pretty good about like his hairs are always clean. Like even like when they're
yeah.
like lopped over and whatnot, it's an organized lop.
Yeah. I have no idea how I managed to to do that.
You kept the 2 points really close together.
Perfect.
Looks like a less squiggly Wario.
Yeah, gotta get that. We went from like the kind of hatched realistic mustache to Nintendo there.
Right.
Yeah. And then let's see if we.
Yeah, I think there was a thing where I
don't
couldn't
know.
share on my iPad for some reason. I don't remember what it was.
Interesting. Yeah. Oh.
Why do I have that vile, evil TikTok on my iPad?
Not that one. Well.
Okay.
There. Oh man, the brush is broken already. Perfect. I did something to it. So about how often do you find yourself using the undo tool?
A lot, actually.
Okay.
So I originally I started doing it because I was using it in Illustrator, and I just kind of got into the habit of like if a line isn't what I like, 'cause I'm slightly a perfectionist when it comes to like doing the correct lines, right?
Sure.
I'm going to attempt just to see what it says to log it into my iPad.
Sure.
I don't think it'll let me, but we'll see.
Nope. We have something there.
Yeah, but now I have to see if I can share my screen and mute my mic. Okay. Okay. Would you add him in or add my iPad in for just a quick
Yes.
second to see if I can share if it gives me the option to share my screen?
We have now turned the esteemed Dr. Wizard and Dr. Tizzard into Wario.
That's awesome. Okay, let's see. Don't mind us, people. We're trying to learn stuff today.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's my hat. So I don't think I can share my screen. It's not giving me an option.
Interesting.
Yeah. It's all about multiple devices.
If you're working with a reference or anything like that, do you have that like set up on your computer while you're on your tablet or?
So using two monitors, or actually, yeah, if I'm using it on my tablet, I'll open up my reference on my extra screen
Sure.
while I work for whatever I'm doing on my other screens. But if I'm out and about, I'll take a screenshot of whatever my reference is, and I'll pull the a pane or a panel or whatever,
Sure.
or not a panel. What's the word? I'll pull the image up, import the image into the page I'm working on.
Okay.
And just leave it hanging there,
Right.
as a separate layer, so I can use that as a reference. And sometimes I'll even like opaque it,
Yeah.
just so I can see through it. But I usually only do that like I've done it when I want to keep like so if I'm coloring something in Photoshop, I want to use a particular color scheme that I saw on something that I like, and I want to use that color scheme on what I'm doing. I'll keep an image up there, and there's actually a way. I don't know if there's a way in Clip because I've never tried it, but there's actually a way to like take that image and create a color palette according to the image that colors that are in that image.
Okay. Go through. I'm going to use this little bit of time here at the end to see how well I can do that service revolver.
That should work pretty good if you use the line tool.
Yeah.
There you go. Look at that.
Did some different dimensions there on that, on the actual on the chamber because
otherwise the curve is not
Exactly.
right. Yeah. Okay, so now if you have it lined up, you're obviously your lineup is a little off, right?
Right. Yeah.
So zoom in a little bit in that spot. Go to in your tools. There's a box that has like a little arrow all the way on the left.
Okay. There.
Up towards the top.
Nope.
That one.
Okay.
All right. Now you want to make sure it's on object. Now come down to your bottom line and just click on it.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I'm in the wrong
you're in
layer.
the wrong
Yeah.
layer.
We're gonna go ahead and you don't need that. Okay, so we're gonna do that again. I'm going to replicate perfectly 100% because I'm a professional.
That's right.
I think it actually came out better.
Right then. So, just for reference sake, go ahead and go there. Click on the bottom line again.
Okay.
Now that will allow you to grab a hold of the pinpoint and move it.
Okay.
So you can move it, line it up a little better.
So if need be, you can change where
Like
exactly.
tweak it up a little bit.
Yeah.
That was weird watching that happen from two screens. Now, click on your eraser. There should be a double water droplet. It's right above that. A little, go down.
Oh, there it is. Yep.
All right. Okay, cool. Click on the vector one.
Ooh. Okay, there you go.
Okay. Let's see. Okay, so now go back to the curve, right? And you're going to create a curve that crosses at 2 points the curves that you already have. It doesn't have to be fancy. Just like going the other way. You just want it to cross.
Okay, so
No. Go a little to the right.
okay.
Yeah. And you want the curve to cross into the curve that you have.
Okay.
With Command or Control Z.
Yep.
With your curve tool.
Okay.
Click on the curve tool. And then create a curve that crosses in. Yeah, like that.
Okay.
Okay. Now, and it doesn't matter where you stop
Sure.
at. Okay. Now click on your eraser.
Okay.
Now there's that line has one side of it on one side of the curve and one side on the other, right?
Yeah.
Just draw a line through one of those curves.
Okay.
Okay, so doing that, because it's on a vector layer, you're erasing just up to an intersecting vector line.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, a lot of the feathering that I do, using, because I'm like with the Apple Pencil, I can create line weight and create a feathering. So it starts out skinny and it gets wide at the base, right?
Right.
And I'll do a bunch of lines like that. And I'll cross over the line that I've been working on. And then I'll take the eraser and just run down one side. It's like taking an X-Acto knife and just trimming off the edge.
Sure. Okay.
So that it doesn't, I do that because I want my line to look like it came across and got fat and stayed that way. If I did it and stopped, sometimes you get like an ovular line at the end where the brush stops.
Right.
I don't want that line. So I'll go all the way through the lines and then erase what the side I don't use.
Okay.
Just a little movie magic there.
Sure.
Like that's what works easily for me.
Yeah. So if you're going back up to like where we kind of like stippled on like to not have like show it wasn't like a solid crease there.
So if it was a solid line there and you crossed with the vector eraser, it would erase the entire line because there is no intersecting line.
Right.
But with any of the other erasers, you can do that. Like the hard eraser, you can do it. Or over here on the eraser tool properties, there's where it says vector eraser and it has those little T's. If you uncheck that, Not that one. All the way on the left side by the plus.
Oh, okay.
If you uncheck that, then you can cross and not erase all the line.
Okay, yeah.
So I really only ever use one eraser unless I'm using like gray tones, like an ink wash kind of thing. Then I'll go up and I'll use the kneaded eraser
Sure.
because it has a really nice value of how it erases, almost like it does it like opacity layers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like as long as like you can change the opacity of that down too, so it erases just a little bit. So if you want your lines to be subtle, you can do that. See?
Yeah.
And now that line is more of a grayish line, not as hard. So like
Right.
if you wanted to make sure you had lines across something, you know what I mean? But you didn't want them to be like a hard line, you can do that to like soften it up a little bit.
Perfect.
The only problem with that is if you do that, sometimes when they color it, if they're using if that line is like a hard line, like the where the shoulder stitching is, right? That's a hard line where you know that there's a crease there in regards to the line art. You'd be able to see the colors if they break the colors there.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But normally, if you're doing it like for like the creases and stuff like that, like they're like across the middle of the back, you can actually do that. And so when they go over with a color, it's going to create like a little darker color there. So it kind of like, because it adds that gray, it's going to, sometimes it makes it pop, sometimes it doesn't. Like it's a hit or miss.
Sure thing. Okay, well, we're coming up to our last little bit here. So are there any last minute tools or things that people must know or must use or be aware of?
I would definitely say know your pen tools, know your pencil tools. Your pencil tool is a great tool in here. And because it's softer. Like here it's a little, because it's on a vector line layer. Actually, even regardless of vector layer, it's a harder pencil. Like I usually, funny enough, I do it a pencil like line art and rough it out, because I think we used to rough out pages in school in Clip Studio and then print it out at 11 by 17 and then do the pencils on that. Or you know what I mean?
Sure. Okay.
Like I know other people that do it that way as well, but they're more savvy with like penciling. I'm not very good at penciling digitally just because I think the space variance is different to me.
Okay.
But yeah, know your colors, know your pen tools, like try all of them. Like if you get time, they all do something different. I mean, some things work on certain layers, some things don't. I don't think your fill tool, nice. Your fill tool does not work on in a vector layer. Like I've not gotten it to work.
Right. Yeah. Like it's easy to start with me like the red. Yeah.
That took me a while. There's a guy I know, Dorian is his first name. I don't remember his last name. And I was hanging out. We were hanging out on groups with Afua Richardson, and he did a Clip Studio tutorial for us for some of the stuff that we don't use. And most of what he did was like Clip Studio paintings.
Okay.
But a lot of the stuff, I didn't know that you couldn't use a fill tool. I just thought mine was broken until he explained it to me. I was like, oh, okay. Well, I don't feel so bad.
All right. So you get to know that your Clip Studio is not broken. It's just
it's me. I'm broken.
Yeah. Perfect.
But yeah, it's really just trial and error. Like I for the longest time, like while I was in school, I used to tell my friends and my friend Kyle, don't watch this, that I hated Clip Studio and it was crap and I don't like it and I won't ever use it. You can't make me.
Sure.
All the digital inks I do now are Clip Studio.
Of course, yeah. That's the way it goes.
Right. So I said it's mostly trial and error. Like I said, my daughter learned how to animate on it, just taking it an afternoon. She didn't even watch tutorials. She just did it herself.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm so proud of her. She's smarter than I am.
That is dope. So if someone does want to engage in the YouTube tutorials, as the school of YouTube is free.
YouTube is free, and there are lots of people on there who are more than happy to explain it. And actually, some of them will get back to you on the message boards,
Okay.
like on the chat for their particular thing. If you wanted to ask a question about something, if you would prefer to pay for your tutorials and education, there is a site called lynda.com.
Yes.
I think Lynda, I believe.
Yep.
And that's a subscription based thing. You pay for the subscription. It's a little pricey depending on what avenue you go. But if you pay like the full price subscription to get the exercises, they will send you the files that they're using in the videos that they're teaching you. They'll send you the files so that you can do the same thing and practice with it. For the money you're paying, it's a really, really great. I think it's a program, right? Or, an application.
It's a website, but I believe they also do have an application that you can install.
So, but they have they have Clip Studio in there. They got Photoshop, Illustrator, all the Adobe stuff. They have Maya. They have ZBrush. Like there's so many other.
They also have stuff for illustrators, specifically for lettering. That's what I ended up doing was a course on there from one of the co-founders of Kablam.
Nice.
Yeah,
I used learning how to do Illustrator. Funny story. I learned how to ink digitally on Illustrator from Afua Richardson, and she taught me over AOL Instant Messenger.
Nice.
Like that's how I learned how to digitally ink. Then I started doing the Lynda classes because I went to Full Sail. I took online classes at Full Sail, and Lynda was part of my school program.
Yeah, I got Lynda through Full Sail as well. That was probably one of the best parts of what the tuition covered.
It really was.
Yeah.
Like that thing was magic. And like I said, I'm talking about it now. Like I haven't used it in years, but like it's still such a great tool that like it needs to be mentioned. But then it's just like trial and error on my own. Like after I went through the tutorials on Lynda, I just started working on my own and just learning new things. And I learned quite a bit in Kubert School as well.
Sure.
Our teacher Max taught us things when he was teaching us topography in Illustrator, and several of my classmates, it really is a different bird. That if you don't have the patience to like try and work with it, then it's going to take you a while to get it. It really will.
Sure.
Like the principle of Illustrator is different. Just like the principle for Clip Studio, it's different. But I feel Clip Studio, for as much as I say I don't like it, it gives you it makes it really easy. I mean, the options you can use and that you can do, like the different brush tools and tips, or brush tools and properties and sizes and brush options that you have are like there's so many, and like so many you can work with it. You can do like really work some pretty cool magic with it. But like YouTube is like, back to that. YouTube is definitely like, if you don't for what you're paying, you know what I mean? YouTube is still pretty good if you don't have the ability to get Lynda. You know what I mean? Well, yeah, you went to Full Sail. I forgot about that.
Yep. So I met Roland.
Right? That would have been cool. Imagine me and Roland when I went to Full Sail. Jeez.
It's definitely
neat.
Yeah, that was it's definitely one of the pricier schools out there, but definitely grateful I got the opportunity to do so. Yeah.
Don't tell Roland my daughter wants to go to Ringling.
Okay. I had interesting enough, actually, I had a couple people who I knew from over here who ended up going to SCAD, which is,
kind of familiar. What do I know that?
It's the Savannah College of Arts and Design. So
okay,
yeah, they do a lot of like they're considered to be like really high up there for new media, digital media, and working in digital art. But it's kind of a rival school to Full Sail given the curriculum and how close it is.
Oh,
so that's
it's like Hatfield and McCoy's.
Exactly. Or
The Jets and the Sharks.
yeah. Or the Jets and the Giants. Yeah. Alrighty. So that has been me messing around with Clip Studio while Jose teaches me the basics, and hopefully, if you've been watching along, you know your way around the platform a little bit better and know how to at least get started and start messing around with some tools. And if you're using a tablet or something, your lines probably came out a little better than mine did. But
I mean, for using a mouse, that's not too shabby.
Yeah, this one could use some work here, but once you get into the actually using the, it also does say something about the vectoring algorithm that they use, the fact that you can use their vector assisted tools there, and with the mouse and keyboard still get something that resembles the shape of hair.
Right.
Yeah.
So also one of the things that you remember I was talking about the curve tool and erasing just one side of the curve when I do feathering.
Yeah.
If I want to have like a nice point, like for the hair or something that has a nice point on it, I will draw a line, extend past it, draw the other line, extend past it, and like as long as I like angle it just right, I can erase at the intersection the two crossing points, and it gives me a nice peak.
Okay. Yeah. So if you're go a little bit. So if we want to get like this really sharp, I might just do there, then something there, and then
use the erase tool. Make sure. Yeah. Okay.
There you go. Yep. Nice.
Yeah, it's like I would personally. That's what I would do when doing the flag. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
I want to get those nice clean points.
Nice little corner the flag.
There. Yeah,
for sure. It helps if you're on the line. Let's get our boy a little thicky.
And you know that if you hold on the shift, I think it's the shift button, your line will stay straight.
Okay, so that's like Photoshop where it does the. Yes. Okay, nice. Okay.
You can do. I think it does horizontal, perpendicular, and 45 degrees. I think.
Okay, nice. And there you go.
Bam, look at that.
Nice and crisp.
Right, nice, clean, crisp points and whatnot. Like for anything like really mechanical, which is funny because I don't use it for that, for any crisp and clean lines on obsoletes, because the city that obsolete is taking place at, it's meant to look very organic. And when Aaron drew it, he's like, hey, that's what I did. I got a lot of curved lines, a lot of organic lines in there. I was like, okay, I'm just letting you know that's how I'm inking it in. That because I looked at that and I was like, okay, this is a very almost like magically manipulated from the ground and like curved lines and doorways and whatnot. So like he's like, yeah, that's exactly what I was doing. I was like, great.
Perfect. All right. So that's been our show, and hopefully if you're watching, you now know your way around Clip Studio, you know how to get your tool set up, how to get started and start messing around with it. Yeah, I mean, with most things, like really anything art related, I always say that's a game of hours.
It really is.
Yeah, but I'd say how long had you messed around with Clip Studio before you felt comfortable with it? Or is that still a process?
I'll let you know when I'm comfortable with it.
Perfect. Yeah.
I mean, I can run through it. Like I can finish pages pretty quickly for the most part, as long as I'm not distracted. And like I believe I've mentioned in several episodes that I have 4 kids. So
yeah,
the time to work sometimes is not as great as I want it to be. But I mean, I pretty much have been using it since school, and I complained about it the entire time I was in school.
Okay.
And afterwards, I complained about it until I was like, okay, I need to really just buckle down and like figure out the key points. And a lot of it was a good portion of it was honestly Quentin screenshotting, or not screenshotting, but screen sharing.
Yeah.
He was screen sharing, and when we were doing when I first started joining the stream, and he was using Clip, and I was asking questions about that, like specifically like certain things like this. Mine's not coming out the way yours is coming out the way it should look for some reason. And it was like a simple thing. I didn't resize the image. You know what I mean? I had it like 72 dpi, and the lines were coming out so pixelated and so wrong.
Right.
So like just simple things like that. Like, I mean, you're gonna make mistakes. You're gonna forget to do it. Like I said, I was having issues just trying to explain to you what to do, but just practice at it. And if you have questions, anybody has questions, Tim is now an expert.
Yes, I am now certified. I've passed.
Right. I mean, you guys can hit me up on my social medias. Like, if I can help you, I'll help you.
And our social medias can be found here. We are down Quentin and Aaron, but their tags are on that banner as well. And I'm there. I'm also on Twitter, which is where I'm most active, mostly sharing Destiny memes and also
falling down the spiral.
Yeah, finding other Kickstarters that have been posted on there. Our Kickstarter for Wolf Hunter and Sirens #1 Remix hit our second stretch goal. So that means that I will be writing.
Cool.
Yeah, super cool. So it means that I'm going to be writing the History Edition, which is going to be an add-on to the digital copy, essentially giving you historical context. So I get to explain the histories of the situations, the mechanics and the machines used. So we'll go over the Second Battle of Dover, the machines used there, what the references are, the laws at play that allowed the special operations executive to exist in the way they did, and how exactly they're referred to domestically, since they weren't normally a domestic operation. But Churchill knew that there were spies in England and knew he needed people to be on the lookout for them. So how he got around the Official Secrets Act that will get explained more in the second issue. But yeah, this is my brainchild, so I'm super happy to actually have it out and ready to get into people's hands here shortly.
Yeah, that's gonna be neat, man. Like, you need to get someone to just put little illustrations of you pointing at the different things.
Right. Well, now I'm a mastering clip studio, so I'll put those in myself.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
You put it yourself. Good job.
The lines will be super clean, but I'm still going to look right from it because the anatomy and the shapes will not be there.
That's right.
Yeah. We have been That Silverline Show on Tuesday. Jose, do you have anything that you need to plug or anything coming up?
Coming up soon, I think in May, I believe, the Obsoletes and it's 3 books. Wow, I just drew a blank. Obsoletes, Cray, and Beyond the Stars. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I forgot about it. Roland's gonna punch me in the nose.
Perfect.
Right. It is. I'm so bad at this. Yeah, I believe it's what it's called, like Beyond the Stars, or man. But anyway, it is. That's those 3. It's gonna come out, and I'm excited. And Roland will know more and be able to tell you more about it. I probably shouldn't say much more past that, but
sure.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Explain that on our Silver Sunday show, which is on the same channel at 8 p.m. Eastern on Sundays. You can also catch us tomorrow. Well, not us, but people tangential to us on 8 p.m. Eastern Wednesdays with the Wizard 8 Wham crew. We'll be back next Tuesday with, I believe, a special guest talking about manga and comics history and possibly some TMNT stuff, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
So it'll be a good time. We don't have a Kickstarter at the moment now, but we should have one out here shortly again because we got a lot of books that we need to get into hands.
So much.
So many books. And be on the lookout for maybe some announcements regarding another book besides Wolf Hunter that I may have done some typing on. But if you did back the Kickstarter, make sure to check your emails because you're going to get an invitation to a survey here soon. We need to confirm shipping addresses, the name that goes in the thank you page, and all that good stuff to make sure that you actually get the book that you ordered in the condition that you want with your name the way that you are named or choose to be. So make sure to be on the lookout for that in your emails. We'll see you here next time. And until then, remember to
make mine
Silverline.
Hey, I'm Alex Saviuk, and I just want to let you know, make mine Silverline.